Hello guys, welcome to Storytimes. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you. Support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. I promise, even more interesting stories. I never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here I am. My girlfriend of 3 years, Ellie, and I had what I thought was a healthy relationship. We met in our senior year of college, both of us studying finance, and clicked immediately. After graduation, we both landed jobs at different firms in the city and moved in together about a year ago. Things were good, or so I thought. Like any couple, we had our ups and downs, but nothing major. Our sex life was satisfying, our communication was open, and we supported each other's career goals. I was even starting to think about proposing in the next year. That is, until last month when everything changed. It started with subtle changes in her behavior. Ellie became more distant, often staying late at work and spending more time on her phone. When I asked if everything was okay, she'd brush it off with a quick, "Just work stress," or "I'm tired." I believed her because I had no reason not to. Then came the bombshell. We were having dinner at our apartment when she put down her fork and looked at me seriously. "I've been thinking about our relationship," she began, and my heart immediately sank. Those words are rarely followed by anything good. I feel like I'm putting more into this relationship than I'm getting out. I cook more, I clean more, I organize our social calendar, and I feel like I'm always the one initiating intimacy. I was taken aback. We had a chore chart that we both followed. We took turns cooking. As for intimacy, I thought we were both equally involved. I told her as much. "That's not how I see it," she replied coldly. "I've been tracking it for the past few months. I do 70% of the housework, and I initiate sex 80% of the time." I was stunned. She'd been keeping score, without telling me, but before I could respond, she continued. "So I've decided to implement a new system. I'm calling it my relationship investment portfolio." She pulled out her iPad and showed me a spreadsheet. It had columns for chores, emotional labor, physical intimacy, and even a section for future planning discussions. "From now on, we're going to quantify our contributions, and if there's an imbalance." She paused, looking me directly in the eyes. "There will be consequences." "What do you mean, consequences?" I asked, feeling a knot form in my stomach. "Well, for starters, intimacy is now tied to your investment in the relationship. No more freebies." I sat there, speechless. Was she really saying what I thought she was saying? That sex was now transactional? That I had to earn it through chores and other contributions? "You can't be serious." I finally managed to say. "Oh, I'm dead serious," she replied, sliding a printed relationship contract across the table. "Look it over. I think you'll find the terms fair." I stared at the relationship contract, in disbelief. It was detailed, with point systems for various tasks and activities. According to her system, I would need to accumulate a certain number of points to unlock physical intimacy. The document even included penalties for missing chores or forgetting important dates. "Ellie, relationships don't work like this," I said, pushing the contract away. "We're partners, not business associates." "That's such a cop-out," she scoffed. "Men always say that when they're confronted with their lack of contribution." I've been talking to my new friends at work about this, and they all agree that modern relationships need structure and accountability. These new friends explained a lot. Ellie had recently joined a women's networking group at her firm, and while I initially supported it, I'd noticed changes in her outlook on many things, including our relationship. "So what happens if I don't sign this?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "Then we need to reevaluate whether this relationship is meeting both our needs," she said flatly. I took a deep breath. "Can I have some time to think about this?" She nodded curtly. "You have until the weekend. But starting tonight, the new system is in effect." That night, she slept on her side of the bed, a clear boundary between us. I lay awake, my mind racing. Was this really the woman I had fallen in love with? The one who used to surprise me with spontaneous dates and random acts of affection? The next few days were tense. I tried to talk to her about it several times, but she was adamant. She had spreadsheets and articles to back up her position. According to her, this was the future of equitable relationships. I decided to test the waters and see how serious she was. I cleaned the entire apartment, did all the laundry, and cooked her favorite meal. According to her contract, I had earned enough points for a physical intimacy session, her actual words. When I approached her that evening, she checked her spreadsheet and nodded. "You've met the threshold," she confirmed, as if approving a business transaction. The whole experience felt hollow and mechanical. Afterward, she updated her spreadsheet, marking the transaction as complete. I felt sick to my stomach. The next day, I called my best friend Ryan and asked if I could come over. I needed perspective from someone who knew us both. "Dude, that's messed up," Ryan said after I explained the situation. "She's essentially commodified your relationship. That's not love, that's a business arrangement." "Maybe I am slacking," I admitted. "Maybe I don't do enough around the house." "Even if that's true, this isn't how you address it," Ryan replied. "Healthy couples talk about these issues and find compromises. They don't create point systems and withhold affection as punishment." I knew he was right. What Ellie was proposing wasn't a solution, it was a symptom of something deeper. Either she had fundamentally changed, or she had always viewed relationships this way and had only now revealed it. On my way home, I made my decision. When I returned to our apartment, Ellie was at the dining table, laptop open to her now infamous spreadsheet. She looked up expectantly. "Have you made a decision?" she asked. I sat down across from her. "Yes, I have." She smiled, clearly anticipating my compliance. Instead, I placed my keys on the table between us. "I'm not signing the contract, Ellie. And I'm not staying in a relationship where love and intimacy are reduced to transactions." Her smile vanished. "You're being dramatic. This is about fairness and accountability." "No, it's about control and keeping score. That's not a relationship I want to be part of." Her expression hardened. "So you're just going to walk away because I asked you to do your fair share? That's not what this is about, and deep down, you know it." I replied calmly. "I've always been willing to discuss any imbalances you perceive in our relationship, but turning our love life into a reward system crosses a line for me." "Fine," she snapped. "Leave then. See how you do finding someone who will put up with your lack of effort." I didn't take the bait. Instead, I stood up and walked to our bedroom, where I had already packed a bag while she was at work. I had arranged to stay at Ryan's until I could find my own place. As I headed for the door, she called after me. "You know this is just temporary, right? You'll be back when you realize I'm right." I turned to look at her one last time. "Goodbye, Ellie." The next few weeks were difficult. I missed our life together, our routines, even our apartment. But I didn't miss the person she had become. Calculating, cold, and transactional. She texted me multiple times, alternating between anger, manipulation, and eventually, attempts at reconciliation. "I've reconsidered the system," she wrote 3 weeks later. "We can adjust the parameters." I didn't respond. There was nothing to adjust. The issue wasn't the specifics of her contract. It was the very existence of it. Friends took sides, as they often do in breakups. Some thought I was overreacting. Others, like Ryan, supported my decision completely. "You'll find someone who values connection over contribution," he assured me. A month after moving out, I ran into Ellie's coworker Sandra at a coffee shop. She approached me hesitantly. "I heard what happened," she said. "I just wanted you to know that not all of us in that networking group agree with Ellie's methods. Some of us tried to tell her she was taking things too far." I thanked her for the insight, but explained that it didn't change anything. Ellie had shown me who she really was. Someone who viewed relationships as transactions rather than connections. 6 months have passed now. I've moved into my own place and started dating again, cautiously. Ellie still reaches out occasionally, each message less demanding than the last. Her most recent text simply said, "I miss us, but there is no us anymore. There's just me, rebuilding my life and my understanding of what love should be." And there's her, hopefully learning that relationships can't be managed with spreadsheets and point systems. Looking back, I'm grateful for that contract. Not because it was right, it wasn't, but because it revealed a fundamental incompatibility before we went any further. Before we got engaged, before we married, before we had children. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself and the other person is to quietly walk away when you realize you're on different paths. No drama, no revenge, just acceptance and the courage to start again. And that's exactly what I did. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.